The Miami Dolphins shook the roster again, a move that caught attention not because it was unexpected, but because it felt like a signal. They went out and claimed cornerback Juju Brents off waivers from Indianapolis, while letting go of Isaiah Johnson, who never really got to step into the spotlight. And you read that right, Brents, a second-round pick not too long ago. The kind of name that comes with expectations, whether you like it or not. Does this feel like a gamble? Or is it more like a quiet statement that the secondary still needs more answers than anyone wants to admit? Brents doesn't just arrive with a stat line. He comes with a story. 11 games, 9 starts, already tested by the fire in Indianapolis. 49 tackles, 1 interception, 6 passes defended. It's not flashy on paper, but is it the paper that matters? Because when you watch him, there's length, there's range, and there's that raw edge that can tilt a matchup. He forced a fumble. He scooped up another. He got involved on special teams. That's not just a resume. It's a snapshot of someone scratching at a ceiling he hasn't touched yet. You look at him and you wonder, did Indy let go too early? Or is there a reason behind the curtain? And that's where Miami steps in, because this front office doesn't just take shots in the dark. They've been watching. Brents was a second-rounder in 2023, a big-bodied corner with arms that seemed to stretch half the field. Kansas State knew what they had when he transferred from Iowa. 94 tackles, 5 picks, a recovery, and 11 passes knocked away in just 2 years with the Wildcats. He was tested in the Big 12, where wide receivers fly like fireworks every Saturday. And he didn't crumble. He left Kansas State with momentum, with buzz, with the idea that he could be the kind of player you plug in and let grow. So now Miami asks, can he fit in a defense that wants to play fast, physical, and unpredictable? Johnson, meanwhile, slips out the back door. An undrafted free agent. He never left the practice squad in his rookie year. He came with Syracuse toughness, with Dartmouth accolades before that, but the leap never really stuck. You respect the grind. 115 tackles in college. First team All-Ivy League at one point. But the NFL doesn't hand out time. He was here, then gone. The question is whether he circles back somewhere else, or if this was his window and it already closed. Either way, it's clear. The Dolphins want Brents more, and they made the swap without hesitation. But that wasn't the only shuffle. The practice squad just got crowded with names, some familiar, some new, all chasing that elusive call-up. B.J. Adams, Cornell Armstrong, Quentin Bell, Braden Daniels, A.J. Henning, Alex Huntley, Derek McClendon, Riley Patterson, Josh Preby, Hayden Rucci, John Saunders Jr., and Theo Wees Jr. That's not just depth. It's a gallery of stories waiting for their chapter. Adams, fresh out of Central Florida, feels like someone built for this moment. 48 games, 88 tackles, 2 picks, 13 passes defended. He even brought 1 interception back for 6. That's instinct. That's vision. Miami signed him as an undrafted free agent, and he's been hanging around since the offseason. You wonder if the staff sees a diamond under the dust, someone who just needs the right snap to show why he belongs. Because practice squads aren't graveyards, they're waiting rooms. Cornell Armstrong. Now that's a name that echoes back. Drafted by Miami in 2018. Left, bounced through Houston and Atlanta, and now back in aqua and orange like a ghost circling home. 40 career games, 7 passes defended, and that same Southern Miss swagger that got him drafted in the first place. What does a return like this mean? Nostalgia? Or unfinished business? It's hard not to think the team wants someone who already knows the DNA of this franchise, someone who can slide in without translation. Quentin Bell is here too. Tampa Bay, Atlanta, Miami already in his past. He's been around the league like a traveler who refuses to stay still. 27 games, a handful of tackles, a sack, special teams hits. It's not the kind of stat line you brag about, but it screams survivor. And teams need survivors. You never know when injuries pile up, when a depth piece suddenly becomes the difference between holding the line and collapsing. Bell plays that role. Braden Daniels brings intrigue. Drafted in 2023 by Washington, sidelined with injury, then tossed around from squad to squad before landing here. Utah built him into a versatile lineman, starting at guard, tackle, switching sides like it was nothing. That adaptability is currency in the NFL. Do the Dolphins see him as a hidden asset, or just insurance? And then there's A.J. Henning. Northwestern polished him after Michigan gave him his start. 100 receptions, over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns in 2 seasons with the Wildcats. Add in kick returns, punt returns, gadget plays, and you start to realize, this guy touches the ball, something happens. Explosive? Yes. Consistent? That's the question. But practice squads thrive on players like him, ones who can break a play open and remind coaches why potential is worth patience. Alex Huntley stands out too, not just for his play at South Carolina, but because he was a 2-time captain. That says something about who he is, about what teammates saw in him. 82 tackles, 4 sacks, 6 passes batted down in the trenches. You want heart in the defensive line room, and Huntley brings it. That's why he's here. Derek McClendon is chasing his shot after Carolina cut him loose. Colorado gave him 1 season to show his burst, and he left with sacks, fumbles, recoveries. Before that, Florida State molded him into a steady presence. He's raw, he's unpolished, but maybe Miami sees clay worth molding. And then Riley Patterson. This isn't a kid. This is a kicker who's been around. Detroit, Jacksonville, Cleveland, the Jets, Atlanta. He's hit 85% of his field goals, 96% of his extra points. He's kicked in playoff games. That's not potential, that's production. Having him on the practice squad feels less like depth and more like insurance against the unknown. Because kickers, fans don't think about them until everything depends on them. Josh Preby, the lineman with brains and brawn. Michigan captain, Northwestern veteran, finalist for the Campbell Trophy. You hear that, and you think leadership, responsibility. The type of player who makes an offensive line room sharper. Practice squad or not, he sets a tone. Hayden Rucci, a Wisconsin tight end, doesn't scream highlight reel, but 17 catches, 200 yards, steady blocking, it matters. Teams need glue guys, ones who do the unglamorous jobs. He's one of them. John Saunders Jr. is the defensive back, who looks like a steal. Ole Miss star, 6 interceptions, 14 passes defended, 3 forced fumbles in just 2 years. Add in his Miami OH history, and you see consistency. You see range. You see a ball hawk. Could he be the quiet gem that rises from the practice squad? Theo Wease Jr. closes the list, and he's not just a footnote. Missouri trusted him as a captain. Oklahoma gave him his start. 109 catches in 2 years at Missouri. Over 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns. That's not background noise. That's a weapon waiting for deployment. So what's the bigger picture? Miami's not just collecting bodies. They're layering the roster with possibility. Brents at corner is the headline, yes, but these practice squad additions? They're the undercurrent.